Jemai everyone, how are you all? I'm here this morning with a little exploding box. This is the one I made following the fantastic instructions by Julie Kettlewell of the Paper Haven. I'll put a link to her tutorial for this original box in the description box below. And when it opens up, I've decorated mine with little snow globe characters, and then these have little cards that you pull out. This one says very merry, and you can write them on the centerpiece there, and this one says Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So I had so much fun making this one that I woke up this morning ridiculously early thinking of a way to incorporate the snow globe to the lid. Now the snow globe on this one, this is too small to make it into a snow globe one. So I've decided to come up with a bigger one. And I've done this much so far to it. I'm using the Feels Like Frost designer paper. And the box then, as you can see, I'm going to bring this one in just to show you, is this one's big brother or sister. You can see there's quite a difference in size in them. And this one, the lid will actually fit a snow globe. So as you can see, I haven't got a completed one yet. So I'm going to complete it on screen with you. So let me show you how I've made the actual box shape up. Here we go. And I've got a list of instructions here. There we go. That's what you need to do or have. And this is a 27 centimeter squared piece of cardstock. So I've used a 12 by 12 piece because obviously A4 isn't big enough. And then you're going to score it at 18 centimeters. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Up trimmer for this. And 9 centimeters. I'll have to put my glasses back on. I can't see the little numbers. There we go. Then you're going to turn it to put the other side of the cardstock in. And then once again, you're going to score at 18 centimeters. And 9 centimeters. And then you're going to be left with a grid. As you can see, it works out as a grid. And what we're going to do now, oh, let me show you the lid first. I'll show you the lid. My Stampin' Up trimmer is a little bit broken. I dropped it. So my lid is a 13.4 centimeters or 134 millimeter size. And what you're going to do then, can you see the 2 centimeters on the outside? There you're going to line up, and we're going to score 2 centimeters in from each side. The reason I go over it a couple of times is because I like using my scoring board. I've just bought the metric converter for it because I'm not that great at converting between inches, imperial and metric all the time. Right. I'm usually on the internet converting and Googling it. So that is what your lid will then look like. Can you see there? It's a bit hard because the sun is actually coming in the window this morning. It's quite early. So on this one, these ones here, I'm going to just scribble on them so you can see. You see the outer squares, you've got to cut those away. So you're just going to go up your scored lines. Now if you wanted, you could use your trimmer for this. There we go. is going to look like a big plus sign. Back to work tomorrow for me, so there'll be less videos in the week, I'm afraid. Back to the day job, which I'm also really excited about. There we are. So it looks like a huge plus sign, as you can see there. So then here's our scoring tool, our bone folder. Just going to fold those in. So that is the base of your box. Okay, so there's no, as you can see, there's no top to it because that's where your lid comes in. That's the base of your box. Now for your lid, couldn't think what it was called then. I'm just putting a little, you are going to cut there, 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 and there. I've done it so that, can you see I've cut along the one side? You are cutting into the score line. Then you go in to make like a little tiny triangle. Make sure you cut the triangle on the little square piece, because I did it going this side and then it ruined my box. So it didn't ruin it, that was a bit dramatic. It's just that I had the piece cut out on the wrong side. There we go. So it's going to look like that. That's what your lid will then look like. Then use now bone folder again. You're just going to fold these sides in like this. And then these ends in then as well. Make sure they are flush. You don't want them bending out over the edge of the card, because otherwise it will affect the look of your lid. And then I'm just going to show you, this is where some little pegs come in handy, I find. Put some glue and you're going to fold them in, and then what I've been doing is put a peg on it. You can use double-sided tape, but at least with the glue, with wet glue, and I'm using Tombow, you have got a bit of time to move things about. And what I did with my lid is I made it up and then just left it dry while I decorated the rest of my box. There we go. And same for this one then. That one I put a bit too much glue on because it all splooged out. And then you just put that to one side till it dries. So, true Blue Peter style. Here's one I've made earlier. Just try and rub some of the glue off. Get all the bits out of my way. You won't see the state of my desk. Here it is. And I've used, as I said, I've used the Feels Like Frost designer paper. I think though when I do it again, I will use 12 by 12 papers, because actually you only get one of these squares out of one piece. So then you end up with all these offcuts. So the next time I will use 12 by 12. So that's my advice to you. I've got, can you see I've got a little white layer around it. So you will need 10 squares, which are 8 by 8 square of card. So I've used white. So there's one there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the lid is 10. Then you will need 9 8.5 centimetre squares of pattern paper, because obviously this one is staying blank for you to write on. So you only need 9 of those. Now, as you can see, I've used the one, I've had to use different there because I already used 2 sheets of this, so I didn't have enough to make up the full square, which is why I would use 12 by 12 the next time. And then on the outside I've used the back pieces of Feels Like Frost, and I chose a pattern that I wasn't quite so keen on the front. So that's what the actual box will look like. Then I've used the Itty Bitty Christmas stamps, and I've used the stitched shape framelit dies to make some sentiments to go in the centre. There we are. And I'm having it to go into the card, if that makes sense, because then they will turn it and look at each section. So all the elements are facing into the middle. So then this one says Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Like that. Then I have made this little snow globe. I love the snow globes. And that is a bit hard to see, but because once again the light. These won't have the covers on. These are just sitting inside on the little bases like this. And I've actually cut the elements out of glitter cardstock just to give it a bit more of a wow factor. So they're going more up to the top. And I've done two the same for inside the card. And I've done a different one then for the top of the box. There we go. I fancied doing one of these for ages, but I don't know whether I've said before, I probably have, I'm not that great at measuring. So things that need to be accurate, I tend to steer well clear of. But it is such an easy one to do that even I can do it. So there's the little bases, like that. And there's that one. So that part of the box is actually finished. So there it is. Can you see? And then you turn it round. And you've got the little snow globe. From our house to yours. Or in Wales we say yours. And then that one. And then the outside of the box simply looks like that. Now you could put different sentiments around the outside as well. You could put all different Christmas messages around there. So that's your box. Obviously when you let it drop, because the fact is an exploding box, it does this. And then you can write in the centre. So now I'm going to work on my lid. So we need to make up our snow globe now. So we're going to do, we want this stuck down first. Don't stick your paper down, because I made some of these the other night and 3 times I made a mistake. So do not stick your pattern paper down yet. Stick down, lay it in place where it should be, and then hold it tight, and then stick your snow globe cut out through like that, and then lift your paper away. So there is your snow globe in place. Then you can build up the images on here, and once again I've cut it out in glitter cardstock, and I'm using some of the mini Stampin' Dimensionals because the polar bears are quite dinky. Now glitter sticking to glitter cardstock is a bit fiddly, but it will work. It will, she tells herself. This is the longest part. Just peeling all these little things off, all these little backing sheets, and I find them absolutely everywhere. So, there we go. Put that there. Now I'm bringing my polar bears in. Now they're facing the other way, because I have found it easier with this glitter cardstock to cut it from the back. So turn your cardstock over, put your cutting pieces along the back, which means then you'll get a mirror image of the image, if you see what I mean, but it just cuts out far cleaner. There we go. So there's my little polar bears. Then I've got a selection of glitter. I had these little glitter jewels. I'm going to put those in, and as you can see, they get everywhere. I'm using a little spoon that's made by Nuvo, and put those in. Usually I use this like a bitty sort of like glitter. It's like a snowflake sort of one, but I'm thinking because of the cardstock it might just get stuck to it all. And then I'm going to use some of the snowflake sequins. This is the time you don't sneeze, you don't breathe, and you don't have a window open. I'll put those in as well. I'm trying to go sparingly with them because I've almost used the tub already. And on your snow globe, it's actually got a piece on the back and a piece on the front of stickiness. Adhesive, that's the proper word, isn't it? Not stickiness. So then, excuse if you see my head now. There we go. So that comes in. You're sticking out the top a little bit, but I don't mind. And then, I don't know what I was doing with that. I look like a majorette. I'm going to peel off, if you can, that piece, and then your piece of pattern paper then will go on top. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a line, and it will also stick to the top of your snow globe. What I'm going to have to do then is just put my embossing buddy over the top to make sure the top of the snow globe isn't sticky. Oops, I'm going to stick that down straight. Let's see if I can just about rescue it there. This is probably the fiddliest part of the whole process. So what I'm going to do now is with an embossing, but I've just seen it on my desk. It's hiding, it is. There we are. And this is the EK Success one. We just put a little bit of a thing on it there. And there's my little snow globe. There it is. And I'm going to stick that on the top there. And what I could do is put something across the top. I wonder if I can cut it down. That, because it's hard plastic. Oh, there we are. I think the next time I would make sure that my snow globe was slightly lower. So then I'm going to glue this on. Actually, I think I'll use double-sided for this because it's quite a heavy piece. Why does everything decide to play up as soon as you're filming a video? There's dogs now barking and all going on here. Right, so this is now going on the top, like this. And then the base of my snow globe is going on. And the other thing I usually do, which I've forgotten to do on this one, is just use your embossing buddy on the inside of your globe. So all your sequins don't stick to it like mine are at the moment. And then bring the box back in. And put your lid on. And there it is. So there is my snow globe exploding box. So there we are. It looks like that from the top. And you could put tags on it, or you could put like little sentiments on the outside. And there it is. Ah! So it was well worth getting up early for, because it worked. What I find, I think you could make different sizes of this. I think it's pretty much a 3 times table, because that was my husband sneezed in the background, sorry. The first one I made was a 21 centimetre square, and this one is a 27 centimetre square, because you need the way you're scoring it, then you've got 3 lines of 3, if that makes sense. I'm not much of a mathematician. Huge welcome to all my new subscribers. It really is fantastic seeing that my subscribers go up, and I'm now on, as of the 1st of September, I'm on 460. So wow, thank you so much. So there we go. So we have used Stampin' Up still scenes and the snow globe dies, which I managed to get something stuck to. We've used inks, Smoky Slate and Basic Grey, the stitch shape framelets, and the Itty Bitty Christmas. We've used the little snow globes and the snowflake sequins and the Feels Like Frost designer paper. So hopefully you can see these instructions. Once again, thank you for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Au revoir.